Jason Hainong Mantzoukas, and we have to get to our first guest.
Oh,
you
great.
are my co-host, and
Host in waiting.
And with your duties, of course, are you need to introduce the guest.
Great.
Let's talk to him for a bit. What do you
All
say?
right, let's do
you
this.
You know what I mean?
This guy is never been on the show before, so this is a very exciting person. We are.
Wait,
really
it's a very
deep,
exciting person?
He's a very exciting
because
person
he's
to
never
be,
been on the show
you're
before?
not letting me finish. He's a very exciting person to be talking to because we are coming upon the 2016 election, and
This is not you finishing. This is you just rephrasing so you make sense.
I hate you so much. I hate you. He is a statistician. If you are at all paying attention to the Moneyball of baseball or the Nate Silvers of what's he on now? 6-1. What was it?
You're the one doing the introduction. Don't look to me for help.
Anyway, please welcome
you're bad at
to
this.
Comedy Bang Bang,
I don't know.
Atherton Witherflower, everybody.
Hello, Atherton. I gotta say, I don't know if this
give
is
it up.
This is a good. I don't
My
know
band
if this
leader,
is a good
Scott
idea
Ackerman.
for you to take over the show. God.
Shall I go?
Hi,
Yes.
Atherton.
How are you, Atherton?
We're Mr. Witherflower.
Well, please call me Atherton. Am I welcomed into the conversation now? Am I
You
allowed?
are, yes.
Please. Thank you
Again,
so
you
much.
I didn't want to interrupt what you two were doing, whatever it was, but it certainly seemed high-spirited and exciting, and what a thrill it is to be.
It was, and we were constantly high-fiving during it. I don't know if you
were
picked up
constantly,
on that.
and it was a perfectly executed high five because it was enthusiastic and yet completely silent.
Completely silent. Yeah. Well,
That's when you know you've done a good one.
yes.
And
you have to push enough air together
Yes.
to create a tiny air buffer between you.
it creates kind of like a vacuum, almost like a black hole.
Yes. Tiny high fives cause tiny black holes.
Mr. Witherflower,
Yes.
or did you say call you Atherton?
Call me Atherton, please.
Atherton.
I'm just a person.
Welcome. You are just a person.
So-
You're not a professor or...
I am a professor. I'm a
Oh,
professor, yes.
should I call you professor?
You don't have to. We don't need to be that. We needn't be that formal. You can just call me Atherton. That's fine.
Atherton. Okay. Atherton Witherflower. What an interesting name.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
On both ends.
Yeah, I like to think so.
What's your middle name?
They're both family names. My last name, of course, is a family name. My first name was someone else's last name in my family. It became my first name.
Really?
My middle name is, of course, Josh.
Josh. Atherton
Josh
J. Witherflower.
Witherflower.
Yes.
Short for...
Atherton J.
And
Witherflower.
It's not
That's me.
Joshua. It's Josh.
No, just Josh.
And your first name, Atherton, used to be someone in your family's last name.
It was my great-grandaunt's last name.
Oh, okay, I see. And
And-
you wanted to honor her?
Well, I didn't have a choice.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I suppose I could legally change my name, but that seems
Everyone
like
has
an awful
that choice.
bother. Everyone has that choice who's not a felon. Did you know felons have
Felons can't.
They cannot change their names.
Oh, but that's
interesting.
Because it's sneaky. It's sneaky because you're trying to change your name.
Well, arguably,
into a
if
different
felons
name.
are sneaky people.
Kids, if
Well,
One
there you go. Does one breed the other? Are felons?
Oh, wow.
Are they sneaky first and then
This
they
is
become
something
felons?
I feel like somebody like yourself would.
Yeah, well, I'd love to hear the statistics.
Would you
on
like to
this.
know the stats on
Yeah.
the sneakiness of felons?
Yes,
please,
I
please.
would.
Most felons started out as sneaky people.
Oh, and
It's
they're
5% of felons who were not sneaky to begin with who became sneaky after being incarcerated.
So wait, they did a felony, which is not sneaky by itself.
But we don't know if they were guilty. They were convicted by a court of law.
okay.
this
But
is
of course,
interesting.
they could be innocent.
the justice system.
But they were not found. We're going, of course, on hearsay. They were not found to be sneaky people before they were incarcerated.
Now, can somebody be arrested for being sneaky?
You can be arrested
you
on
can
suspicion.
pull someone over, certainly, for probable cause for being sneaky.
For being sneaky.
It's difficult
Yeah.
to sneak in a car.
Well, you can also like be driving as a cop
You know,
down the
you-
street.
you-
What's this now? You falling apart?
You
You're
gave up on your own
You
idea.
gave up on that. You put the board down and everything.
Forget it. I don't care.
Forget it? I
Forget
don't
it.
care?
Well, what an auspicious episode on which to make my debut. When the host says, I don't care, forget it.
No,
I do
don't
have to
worry
say-
about it, Atherton.
I do have-
I will more than make up for it.
Thank you,
boy.
Jason.
As the host.
I do have to
Thank
say
you.
that I think it's great incentive for the kids out there not to commit a felony, because you may want to change your name someday.
Well,
Sure.
and also, if parents are listening and their child exhibits sneaky behavior, you got to nip that in the bud because
yeah.
your child may become a felon.
How does one nip it in the bud? Spankings? What do we do?
spanking, shaking, yelling, discipline, taking things away, denying things, scolding.
Can you do some of those at the same time?
Absolutely.
Almost all of them, I think you could do at the same time.
Certainly spanking, you should scold at the same time.
Let me try to spank, scold, yell, shake, and take away your privileges to you, Jason, at the same time.
Go ahead.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
I'm upset and I'm taking away all your privileges!
See?
You'll notice, though, that your spanking technique suffered because of the shaking.
It really did. I didn't give you the good spanks.
Hard to hit the target.
I still felt it, though.
Yeah.
You felt like the message came through?
I felt like
the shame more than anything.
I feel less sneaky now.
Okay, good.
Because truth be told, before we started the show, I felt a little sneaky.
Yeah.
You seem sneaky sometimes.
Yeah.
You have a look about you on your face. You make an expression that's a very sneaky expression.
Not to the degree of like a felony.
No, certainly not.
What constitutes as a felony these days?
Murder, still there.
Still up there with a bullet, as they say.
Oftentimes.
Yeah.
Grand
What's your
larceny?
stance on gun control?
I didn't.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And Jason, I want to hear yours.
I'll tell you what. The Second Amendment guarantees us all the right to a gun, but that's the way we interpret
because
the Second
we are
Amendment.
the militia.
Exactly. That's the thing. Well, it depends on your definition of a militia. Are we the militia,
Depends on
or
what your definition of is?
who's that now?
Did you not see my thumb?
Oh,
it's Jay Leno.
President
It's Jay Leno.
Jay Leno.
Here's something. It depends on what your definition of it is.
Here's something.
Here's something. Here's something.
Where is something? Where is something? Where is something?
It's like Springfield.
You don't know that
I'll
song?
never tell.
You don't know that song?
No, what is that? Where's something?
You know it.
Yep. It's Frere Jacques.
That's right.
Where is something? No, I thought it was Thumpkin.
It is.
Yes, I was doing a bit of a song parody based on.
Have you lost your mind?
Because I'm not a fucking 6-year-old boy being sung to "Where Is Thumpkin" every day. I had to pull it out of the recesses of my mind.
Your brain is too busy being filled with the apostrophe in Navi.
And the members of NSYNC.
Oh yes, and the original members of NSYNC.
Why don't I go?
Go ahead.
All right.
I feel as if I shouldn't be here.
Oh, I thought you meant go as in start whatever.
Oh, that's what I thought.
I meant leave and go home.
Oh, no, Atherton, we want you here more than anything in the world. We want to get into this race. We want to talk about who is tracking where you're seeing trends in this election post the Democratic debate, which was a month ago.
I can tell you right now who is going to be, first of all, in the election, who will be the Democratic nominee, who will be the Republican nominee.
Oh.
And I can tell you who is going to win the presidency of the United States.
All the way to the end there.
Yes,
I got them all.
It's just numbers. It's just numbers.
Okay.
Numbers don't lie. They can't, you see. Numbers can't lie.
Well,
letters,
they're inhuman.
They're inhuman, but I mean, letters can lie because you can rearrange letters into different combinations that will say different things.
So I think that's the people, though. Like letters don't lie. The people who use letters lie.
You're absolving letters of the guilt?
I believe so.
So
we
you're
can't
saying
blame
that's
the
interesting.
letters.
Letters can be sneaky.
Letters can be sneaky. Numbers are incapable of being sneaky. Numbers are the same. There's nothing you can do about them.
Mm-hmm. They are absolute truth.
They are absolute truth. They're numbers. It's science.
Okay, so I guess this begs the question.
You're probably using that incorrectly, but go ahead.
Yeah, I bet I am.
It probably raises the question.
But what does begs the question mean then?
Begs the question means no one's really asking that question. You're making it sound like it's a question that needs to be asked.
Oh, okay, so this begs the question then.
That's right.
Who?
By the way, that is a thumbnail definition. I might be a little hazy on it, but I know when it's wrong.
But you know enough to
thumbnail. Where is thumbnail?
What's that now? I have no idea what that is.
Thank you, Atherton.
I'm making fun of you.
You
Scott.
get it.
Right.
We get it. You're a dummy.
Look, I'm going to keep this on track. I want to ask you then, who are the nominees? Who's going to win? Can you answer us that?
Yes, I can answer you that. I'm going to say
three-part question.
We're looking at polls now, and I think it's great that we're polling earlier and earlier and earlier. And in fact, I think they should have started this polling for the 2016 election around 2010. I think we should have been taking polls to see who was going to be president in 2016 because we would know that much sooner.
Sure.
But
at that point, do we know? We don't know who the.
At that point, we were polling 2012's election.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why not just if as long as you're doing that, why not throw some more years in there?
Okay. All right. I get it.
It only happens every 4 years. I mean, and especially if you get a 2-term president,
sure,
then your work is cut in half.
Yeah. No, so I get what you're saying. Like the polling people are lazy.
Yes, it's numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers
Okay,
are
very
incapable
good.
of
The
lying.
people do.
We should be polling now to see who's going to be the president 40 years from today.
Sure.
Huh. That's interesting.
Do you have the data, though, now? You have the data for
Have you
next
crunched
year?
it?
I have. Thank you very much, Jason. I have indeed crunched the numbers.
While
Thank you
you're
so
thanking
much.
him.
And it's going to come down to the Democratic nominee will be Governor Jim Webb.
Oh, what?
That's right. And I'll go through it all, and I'll explain how
Please
it's all
do.
going to work.
Jim Webb.
This is math.
Okay.
This is just simple math.
All right.
Jim Webb, I know he gave a disastrous performance.
He was not
in the
good.
last
Not
debate.
good at all.
All he did was complain about how much time he wasn't getting, and then at the
You're
end,
letting these guys talk, and
Yes.
for 10. He kept saying 10 minutes.
that's right. And then
Everything was 10 minutes.
Everything
Sam.
was 10 minutes.
He's like
And-
a little
numbers-
kid in the
but numbers
backseat of a
don't
car.
lie.
Numbers don't lie. He was right about that. It was 10 minutes every time. He didn't get to speak.
Every single time.
Every single time. Every time he said 10 minutes, he was correct. And also, he did creepily smile at the thought of killing someone in the Vietnam War.
Yeah,
Which
that
I
was,
think
that was really strange, was it not?
Some people found off-putting at the time. So, he is going to be the Democratic nominee. The Republican nominee will be Hillary Rodham Clinton. Now, isn't that surprising?
It is.
Isn't that surprising?
Wait a minute.
Were you doing a Roger Rabbit impression?
Please. Please.
Yes.
Sir, you gotta wait. She's Democrat.
That's right.
A lifelong.
She is now.
A lifelong Democrat.
She is now.
What are you predicting is the cause of her
She's jumping ship?
alarming shift?
Will you be surprised to learn? It's numbers.
No, okay.
Wow.
Right now, she is polling very high. As of this recording, she's polling very high.
Certainly.
If the numbers continue to rise, she'll go over 100%.
Oh, no.
She'll have numbers left over. And so then that will just sort of leach onto the Republican numbers. She will therefore have no choice but to go to where she is polling the highest, which is the Republican Party.
So she's going to be at like 150% or something.
Exactly.
She'll have 50%.
But isn't that
of
100% of Democrats and 50% of Republicans? So wouldn't she still be the majority Democrat?
Numbers
Am I not
don't lie.
understanding
Numbers
it?
don't. You're not understanding.
Okay,
Numbers
don't
are
lie.
not lying, Jason.
Totally.
If her polls are going up,
Sure.
they will. I can project they will continue to go up because they're numbers.
Yep.
Right. Numbers
She will
don't go down.
surpass-
And they won't lie.
They will not lie. They will. She will surpass 100%.
Correct.
She'll still keep going. If she's going on the trajectory she's on now, it only makes sense
That it goes
she will
higher than
continue.
100.
Her percentages will go higher than 100, perhaps higher than 200.
Oh, wow.
Which will knock her over into the Republican side because
Sure.
she will be polling higher than any of they are with their numbers.
Makes sense to me. I mean,
Okay.
everyone keeps talking about 100. That's as much as you can go. Have you ever heard of 101?
Yeah, or have you ever heard
know
of
what I mean?
I gave it 110%?
Exactly.
Yeah, or a million.
Yeah.
We talk about a million a lot.
That's right.
But there are
That's
people,
also a number.
There are people out there going, 100, that's all you can get. Come on.
Did you know that the numbers go into the billions? You've heard billions with a B. That's a number. That's a for real number. And you can have
Yeah,
multiple
a trillion
billions.
is a number.
A trillion is
is a
also
number.
a number.
Yeah, we
There
talk about
go.
trillions a lot because they're in the budget these days.
Sure.
But does anyone know what's higher than that? Is it quart?
There's got to be quadrillion.
Is it
quintillion?
quadrillion?
Septillion, I'm assuming.
There's a godzillion.
Octillion?
Cotillion?
Maybe? I don't know.
Okay.
Cimmerillion. Cimmerillion.
Right. That's my least favorite color in the crayon box, I have to say.
I'm partial to burnt sienna myself.
Well, this is interesting. So, and then who is going to actually win? Because if you have a Webb v. Clinton Dawn of Justice,
Right.
showdown, who's going to end up winning the presidency?
The winner will be, because then the numbers change once you get down to the election. Okay,
Oh,
now you know.
happens then?
So
Now you
once
know who
they're
the
the nominees,
candidates are.
does it zero out?
We're using these numbers to determine who the nominees are going to be.
Do they lie
Then,
after that?
Scott, numbers cannot lie.
I'm so sorry. I don't know why I asked
The
that.
name
It's
of
okay.
this
I'm
episode
not-
is Numbers Cannot Lie.
I'm so sorry.
So
not
just
angry at you.
refer to that.
Okay, I'll just look at the name of the episode.
I am not angry at you. I'm just emphatic about this, and I'll say it. I'll say it as many
You're
times
not
as I
angry
need
because
to.
you seem a little upset.
I'll say it as many. I get sometimes when I think about numbers, I get emotional.
I understand only because Atherton is trying to explain something to us, and you're acting like a grade A jagoff.
Okay, all right. No,
Jason's words, not mine. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not going to talk you out of your feelings.
I get emotional when I look at numbers, especially like numbers on a tombstone. You know?
Yes, those numbers do not lie.
Those are dates. Those are factual dates.
Yeah, like 20,
that are the life of a person.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. There's a small distinction. Dates do lie. Numbers don't lie, but dates lie.
do.
Dates. Yeah, people I'm on dates with lie. Hey-oh.
Wait, why are you laughing at him and you're not laughing at me?
Well, it was a perfect delivery. It was a perfect classic joke structure.
Thank you.
And then he tagged it with the hey-o.
See, I love a mathematical analysis of my jokes. Those numbers don't lie, which means my joke doesn't lie. My joke is numerically solid.
I only like jokes that follow a certain sound formula.
Yep.
Okay.
And are thus, in not lying, are absolute truth.
That's right.
My jokes are absolute
What
truth.
you're doing is an ironic detachment that I can't quite wrap my mind around. It's too emotional and not numerical enough.
Yep. Oh, okay. So I'm too emotional of a performer.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure you get that a lot.
Yeah, I certainly do.
Anyway, the winner will be Rand Paul.
As an independent?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, here's why.
For what party?
Here's why. For the Libertarian Party.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
And here's why. Because you have a Democrat, you have a Republican. The way the country is divided, of course, the polls will have them at 50% each. They cancel each other out. So
50-50.
50-50. And so it's going to go to whoever steps forward first to say, me, I'll be the president. And that will, of course, I'm assuming, be Rand Paul.
Oh, because Rand Paul, everybody knows this 23 hours a day is screaming, me,
That's
I will
right.
be president.
He's not a Democrat. He's not really a Republican. He's more of a libertarian.
Sure. Right.
And so,
just like his dad.
That's right. His dad, Ron Paul, who wanted to start the Revolution, where love was spelled backwards. Do you remember those posters?
No.
They were very unsettling. They were all over the place. I don't know what Ron Paul has to do with love, but I remember seeing
like that.
and then being discomfited.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a TV show? Revolution? The NBC TV show where all the power went out?
I think it's been the name of a lot of things.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, like the French Revolution.
Prince and the...
Well, this is fascinating. So Rand Paul...
Now you see why I laughed at what he said?
Rand Paul.
Can't get a break.
Rand Paul.
Rand Paul.
So President.
Now, when you hear the numbers, it all makes sense, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I suppose so. I guess
I
maybe
believe in
I'm
this
not,
100%.
I'm not following it that
100%.
100%.
Which as we know is not the highest percentage you can have.
So there's 10% of me that is like unsure.
I believe in it a quadrillion percent.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay. Well, God, you guys are not making it easy for me today.
I don't know what you need. What do you need?
It's just some human interaction.
I was here to talk about my numbers. I did. I feel like I fulfilled my part of the bargin.
All right.
I thought you were here, the host. You're supposed to ask me questions.
All right. Look, tell you what. We need to take a break.
Fine.
Do you not want to be here?
I love being here.
Really?
I'm having a great time talking to Atherton Witherflower. When we come back from the break,
yes.
I really want to talk about your last name, Witherflower.
Certainly.
Because it has an inherent sadness to it because it is the withering and the death of a flower.
Well,
and that
keep in mind,
is interesting.
It's not death flower.
Keep in mind, my name is comprised of letters, and what can they do? Lie. So we'll get into it.
We'll talk about this when we come back from this break. You're listening to Comedy Bang Bang. Let's go to the break.
Comedy Bang Bang.
Till the break of dawn.
What are you singing there?
I was singing Oshana.
Sheila, I think is it.
Who?
Okay.
No, I believe you're singing Oshana, Oshana.
Did we all go for the harp?
Yeah, we all did, and it changed the melody.
Absolutely perfect.
Yep.
Flawless. Put a beat to it, send it in as a plug, theme assholes.
Songs lie. Songs can lie.
Songs can lie.
Made up of words.
Welcome back to the show. Scott Ackerman here,
Jason Mantzoukas.
host of Comedy Bang Bang.
Bringing the show to you.
Forever
As a ghost.
Nope.
But as a host, as a ghost host.
Do you think I'm a ghost host
You
right
can be
now?
No, of course not. You're here alive now.
I am alive.
But once you die, you will be a ghost host.
Okay.
And
there's always
as
my
such,
way out.
attributed. Every episode I will say ghost host for the show, Scotty Ox.
All right. Very good. And Jason Mantzoukas is here.
Hainong Man.
And Hainong Man.
Oh, first Hainong Man of the day.
Yeah,
Hey,
45 minutes in. Oh, thank you so much,
I had one
Atherton.
earlier as a ghost. Oh, thank you very much, Atherton.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
We have
Haunted.
reset.
We've reached a quorum.
Yeah.
We've reset the day.
We've reset. All right, Atherton Witherflower is here, and he is a statistician from what? Where do you work? Did we ask you that?
Well, I'm a professor at a college in the Boston area.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about then.
Do you? Isn't that obvious?
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Northeastern.
Oh my God.
UMass Boston.
Oh, please. This is making me sick.
Brandeis. I bet it's Brandeis.
Oh, Brandeis.
You know where he goes.
I bet it's Tufts.
I think Tufts is the most embarrassingly named college.
I agree.
Tufts.
Like tufts of hair.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I imagine a shedding cat just wandering around on a mortarboard.
Also, like those hemorrhoid pads, Tux.
I've never heard of those.
You've never heard of Tux medicated pads?
Do you not have hemorrhoids?
Do you not? Hold on a second. Do you not have hemorrhoids?
Why are you ganging up on me about hemorrhoids?
Well, I have hemorrhoids.
I've had hemorrhoids.
All right,
We all have hemorrhoids.
We're men of a certain age.
The engineer, do you have hemorrhoids?
No.
You've
What?
never had
Oh,
them?
2 on 2 now. How do you like them odds?
But how old are you?
31.
Oh yeah, youth. That is the blessing of youth. Wait till you wait till you pass
till
like
32.
38. 38, your ass is going to fall out of itself.
Numbers don't lie. They cannot lie.
It's true.
What about dust bunnies? What if that was a college? You know?
Well, I think they'd have their mascot all sorted out, obviously.
Would it be like a brown bunny, like a
gray
charcoal
bunny made of
gray?
It would be like
yes.
a bunny just made of just like
hair,
and like when the mascot jumped around, like dust would pour off of it. It would be an awful,
like Pigpen.
Like
It'd be a
Pigpen.
cloud of dust around
It'd be
them
an
all the
awful
time.
costume to wear.
Yeah. And strange that it's the same name as the college. The Dust Bunny.
That doesn't happen a lot.
Dust Bunny.
That's interesting. Yeah,
The Cornells?
the Cornell Wests.
That's their mascot?
Is the Cornell West.
Cornell West.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
gigantic Cornell West head, and of course a scarf, no matter what the weather.
and of course their sub mascot to have a Smiley, and
That's
they're
right.
always running around together.
What's the deal with that scarf thing? What is that all about?
I think he's just cold.
I think it's a choice.
You think it's not? Is it to like hide the neck waddle?
Perhaps.
Oh,
perhaps. I've never
that's
seen
one.
him without it.
Yeah, the
neck waddle
University, Neck Waddle University, neck waddles.
In Neckwaddle, Tennessee.
Here we go, neck waddles.
Well, this is great. We're having a good time.
We're just having so much
We were
fun.
talking about
Numbers cannot lie.
We were talking about statistics earlier
Yes.
with Atherton, who is a professor at Harvard a school.
No, you could say
Harvard.
I'm a mathematics professor at Harvard University.
That is amazing. And so, like, that's the kind of thing that you must have. You went to college, you went to university, you went to graduate school. Like, you are somebody for whom your entire life has been predicated on numbers.
Yeah, I mean,
no, actually not.
How so?
No, I've only been a math professor for a relatively short amount of time.
you just became a math professor?
Over the past few years.
You
yes,
seem like an older gentleman.
Yeah,
What were you doing before then?
Oh, I was a janitor
Oh,
Wait a minute. Wait
Where?
a minute.
at Harvard. I was a janitor at Harvard.
Wait,
that sounds familiar.
I know someone who was a janitor at Harvard.
Is it me? Well, you know me now.
Well, no, I know someone who's currently a janitor at Harvard.
Oh.
Mike.
I wonder if we know the same person.
Mike the
Yes,
janitor.
his name
You know
is
Mike?
I do
Yeah.
know
What's his
Mike.
last name again?
That I never got.
Okay.
We only met very briefly.
I don't know that I ever got it either.
Yes.
So, just to make sure, I think we're saying the same thing.
Certainly.
You are Atherton Witherflower.
That's correct. And you wanted to talk about my name.
I do.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about that. But are you currently married
I am. Yes, I am.
to a woman who was Mike the janitor's wife?
Interestingly enough, yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
I think
yes.
we've heard
Okay,
this
we've
story
heard-
from the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, not from my ex-wife June's
No.
point of view.
No.
No, June we have not met.
Okay.
Wait, June. Okay, June is
June is my former wife.
Is your former
I like
wife.
to say my old wife.
Yes.
Yes.
Who is now married to Mike the janitor.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
what can I tell you what we heard?
Sure.
Mike has been on the show several times.
Has he really?
Knowing that
Yes.
words can lie.
Why?
Knowing that words can lie, we want to make sure that we get the truth out there. So if we can
Yeah.
reduce
Probably
this
somewhere
story-
in the middle.
If we can reduce this story to numbers, that would be great.
Well, as you know, numbers cannot lie.
I've heard that, and I've seen the show description.
Why would you have a janitor on your program?
I don't know, to be quite honest.
Seems like not a good get.
he showed up one
Well,
day.
see, that's the thing is he showed up. You were an invited guest.
Yes, and thank you very much.
He showed up to clean.
He also cleans. He's here at the Earwolf Studios. He cleans.
and got
Oh,
on
I
and
see.
got on Mike.
I see.
He does it all just for basically because he loves janitor work, and we also give him a paycheck.
Oh, well, that seems like a perfect quid pro
loves
quo.
to get a paycheck for the work that he does.
It sounds like that's how a job works.
Yeah, exactly.
That you do your job and then you're given a paycheck.
Sure. If you do it well, you're given numerical representation of the work that you did.
Right. Or in my case, I'm a humble man, and I'll say I'm not the greatest math professor that's ever been in the halls of Harvard, but
to teach at Harvard,
I walked into a tenured position, and so there's nothing they can do about it.
Right. Well, what he told us was he was a math professor at Harvard.
Yeah, I believe that. That sounds familiar.
And you guys did a wife swap.
Yes,
like
we
just a wife swap.
Just a wife swap.
But it turned into a life swap.
Yeah.
Yes, well, June, who's always been very particular.
Your ex-wife.
And my old wife. She hated being married to
a janitor.
She was
married to a...
She loved being married to a janitor. She hated being married to a Harvard math professor. And Mike, of course, was a Harvard math professor. And she said she was very exacting. She always wanted to be married to a janitor ever since she was a little girl. She said, no husband of mine is going to be a Harvard law professor.
Yeah.
And so she was instrumental in us swapping not just wives, but careers and lives.
So she got into the mix and said, hey, guys, let's not do just a simple wife swap. Let's do a life swap.
Well, that's not, I found this out later.
Oh.
June is... she's a very powerful personality.
Oh, really?
And she really made this happen, and no one was able to say no. It just happened at June's command.
Do you feel so? She has a very powerful air about her to be able to convince three people to completely change their life trajectories.
Indeed. Yes.
What did your current wife? How did she feel about this?
Marjorie,
yes. Okay.
Marjorie was not happy about it.
She was happily married to Mike the janitor.
She was happily married to Mike the janitor.
Well, who was Mike the
Harvard law professor?
Math professor.
I was Atherton the janitor before.
Yeah.
Wait, law or math?
Math. Forgive me, I misspoke.
Oh, okay.
See, words can lie. Numbers cannot. If we were speaking in binary, we'd have no problem.
10001111001.
Your accent is off, but it's otherwise very good.
It's pretty good though that you can speak binary. You did semester abroad in binary, right?
I did, definitely.
That's great.
So she was married to the law professor.
A math professor.
Math professor, excuse me. And she then was married to a janitor. She didn't like that? Or she did like that?
She would have been fine with it, but I don't even know. I mean, June just kind of steamrolled over everyone.
Wow.
And Marjorie and I have come to have a very civil marriage, and we're civil.
So you're not in love with her.
Well,
are you still in love with
June?
With June? Oh wow!
Oh,
it's
like a wave of emotion just fell.
You're looking at your wedding ring.
June, as I said, is a very powerful personality in many ways, and of course my heart will always be with June. Against my better judgment, against my will, I feel as if I have no choice.
Against your will. That's what's interesting is the sway that this woman, that this June has over
puppet master,
mistress,
June,
mistress, some sort of witchcraft or
here's the thing: Marjorie and I have a very perfunctory sexual relationship to keep our marriage alive.
How often do you have sex, man?
Once a week.
Once a week.
Every Friday.
I was going to say, is it the same?
It's Friday. It's Friday at 9:30.
Okay.
9:30 at night or 9:30 in the morning?
In the morning.
Oh,
okay.
We start our day.
Do you not have a class and normally?
I can come and go when I please. I have tenure.
Okay.
Yeah. And is it TGI? Is it just TGI Friday? Here we go.
Exactly.
Boom, 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 batsa, boom, boom, bop, bop, boom, boom, boom.
It is
keep going.
It's a 5-minute act.
Ooh.
And we shake hands afterwards.
Okay.
And we go about our days.
Huh. Well, that sounds very. Actually,
it's cordial.
Sounds pretty sad.
It's cordial. It's very cordial.
Do you still have any kind of communication with June?
No, I am. I'm not.
Are you barred from seeing her?
I'm not allowed to communicate with June.
By whom?
Because by June, of course. June made it very clear that this was going to be a clean break. We were embarking on new lives.
Wow.
And it would be as if we were strangers and did not know each other.
Oh,
have you seen each other? Because you all still, I'm assuming, live in Cambridge and are around
circles.
Yeah.
I ran into June and Mike at a grocery store.
The Whole Foods?
At the Whole Foods in Cambridge.
Okay.
And I've never felt that close to an out-of-body experience in my life. I felt as if I was looking as if from a great height at these people meeting, and I didn't know what meant anything anymore. It seemed as if the world had stopped. And,
what did you think at the top of their heads?
Everyone looked nice. I think that I'm going gray, and Mike is, I think, starting to bald a little bit. There was a bit of a Friar Tuck patch forming.
a little FT back there.
June's hair is impeccable as always. She has beautiful, thick, golden tresses.
In a beehive or?
No, June is
In a beehive.
I'm just wondering. I'm trying to get a picture
Are you
of this
picturing
woman.
somebody from like the 50s?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm trying.
She has thick flaxen hair.
Okay. Just
sounds
straight
beautiful.
down like Emmylou Harris?
She's
or?
a beautiful woman.
How old is she? Roughly. I mean, you shouldn't give her actual age out, of course.
June is 49 years old. I mean, she's a stranger to me. I mean, I can use that. Well, and numbers cannot lie, so I should say that her actual age is 49 years old.
Yeah.
But she looks as if she's not yet 30. She's a tremendous, vibrant
Atherton,
woman.
if you don't mind me saying, you are clearly still very much in love with June.
I am.
How was your sexual relationship with June?
It was tremendous. We had when we first were married, we had sex seemingly round the clock.
Wow.
And then as we settled into our adult lives, we still had a very vigorous and experimental sex life.
Oh, wow.
Experimental.
Yes.
I want to hear about that.
I want to hear about that because,
Well,
like,
June, I bet you do. I bet you both do.
Just the idea of a wife swap is itself very
Experimental,
progressive and
yeah.
experimental. And
Yes.
the fact that it has then yielded not just a permanent wife swap, but a life swap is, even more adventurous.
Well, we tried everything you can think of.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
And then some. Yeah.
Orgies?
I can think
We've
of
had orgies, yes.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yes, we had orgies.
Can I ask you a question? Do you know this guy, Len Wiseman?
Ooh, that name sounds familiar.
He's going to direct the new Die Hard prequel.
He directed the last Die Hard movie.
Is he? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what he does for a living. Is he a good-looking young guy in his 40s?
Yeah. Really
From
good looking.
Cupertino. He's got like a strong
From
California accent.
Cupertino High is where he went.
a strong California accent.
Very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who he is. Yes.
Yeah. Did you ever have
We
an
went
orgy
to a
with-
sex party at his house. Yes.
That's a long way from Cambridge.
It is, but I mean, it only happens. There's a certain season, and so we went
Sex party season.
Sex party season. We went.
So I'm assuming you and Marjorie, none of that progressive sexuality.
no.
Just every Friday, 9:30 a.m.
Every Friday 9:30.
you bang it out and shake hands.
We have 5-minute sex, and then we shake hands.
May I ask where you ejaculate?
Well, out of my penis.
Okay, I was wondering.
Okay. Strange question.
Yeah, okay.
Penises also cannot lie.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
The two things that cannot lie?
Numbers and penises.
So, what was the first experiment you wanted to do? What was the first? Do you remember
Were
the
you
first
the
time June
experimenter? Was
said?
June? I'm assuming
It was always,
June.
of course, it was June. It was always June, but I was willing to go along with every experiment. It always seemed like a good idea.
What was the first thing that was outside of your comfort zone?
Autoerotic asphyxiation?
Oh boy, that was the first thing.
That was the very first thing.
Wow, that's. I mean, yeah.
And then I think the second thing was probably doggy style.
Okay.
Prior to that, it was strict missionary position. And
Once
then,
she warmed you up with a little.
yeah, so first she choked me.
A-E.
She wrapped a belt around my neck.
Sure.
And still missionary position.
Yep,
so it was,
of course.
It was difficult.
I would assume so.
Yeah, because she had to, she was underneath me, and she had to sort of like reach
How
around
does she get
me.
leverage?
Yeah, she just held it up in the air, the belt up in the air to choke me.
And you enjoyed that?
I did later when I regained consciousness.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
And she told me about what had happened. I was like, that sounds great.
So then she moved on to doing it animal style, as they say it in an
Yes,
burger.
yes, with no bun.
And although there's a lot of buns animal style when you're doing it,
Sex-wise.
Sex-wise, yeah.
I see. You should have tagged that with a hi-yo.
Hey, especially at an orgy.
And now you're laughing at him.
Well,
Especially, at an
my
orgy.
joke.
it was an incomplete equation.
Look at all these hot dogs and buds. Hey-oh.
I don't know. So you're doing everything under the sun. Anything we can think of, you said.
Think of something and I'll tell you if we've done it.
Everything under the bun. Hey-oh. I am on fire.
This really is your night.
Oh, man.
This is terrific.
Wait, what's something weird that you've done, Jason? You do all the weird shit.
I haven't done much weird, no.
You really just
certainly
tapped
none-
out? You can't think of a single other weird sexual
that
practice?
I've done? No.
That anyone has done.
Okay.
He
anyone
had to
in the
go
world.
over to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, well, I mean, like,
My sphere of knowledge is not that broad on this topic.
well,
Let's
I
go
mean,
over
like-
Let me
Jason.
ask, hold on, Jason,
Go
please,
ahead.
one moment. May I ask, what's the strangest thing you've ever done sexually?
I guess if this were the dating game, I'd say in the butt.
So you've had your anus penetrated.
I don't know. Probably.
Are you afraid to answer honestly because there's something you're thinking of, but it will incriminate someone else?
Probably.
You are.
I'm trying to see what I can actually say.
Watching you try and figure this out is pretty satisfying.
Well, what about you, J-Dog?
Hey, man. Hey, Nog Man.
Hey, Nog Man. Let's Hey, Nog Man this entire
we can
line.
reset. We can reset.
We've reset.
Okay, so a lot of weird stuff happened.
A lot of weird stuff.
But for sure, weird stuff.
Knife play.
Were you
Knife play?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, have you been a part of wound sex?
Yes.
Oh,
where you're sticking your penis into her wounds?
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
And vice versa.
Oh, boy.
Wait, she had a penis?
Well, she would put things in my wounds.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. What was she putting into your wounds?
Oh, just stuff around the house. Whatever was handy.
Antiseptic?
Antiseptic. There was a
Band-Aid.
She did put a Purell bottle in a wound one time.
A whole bottle.
One time we did a sort of stigmata play where I had the wounds of Christ our Lord.
Oh, wow.
And she would insert household objects into those while she was masturbating.
Okay. Cool. Wow.
Was she pretending to be a Roman or was she...
Sometimes, yes.
Okay.
We tried that for about a week.
Yeah.
It didn't take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a vomitorium. Did you do any of that vomit
We
play?
did a whole Roman play where we lived as Romans for an entire week.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Now, were you on the clock job-wise?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd have to go to work in my toga.
As a janitor.
As a janitor, yes.
Okay.
Now, but what's interesting about that...
but no one ever looks at the janitor.
No,
sure.
You're an invisible person at that point.
That's true.
What's so fascinating and what's so heartbreaking, truthfully, about all of this is what you're describing so, it's such an evocative portrait of something so interesting and clearly interesting to you. But the way you told us the story of now your sex life is reduced to perfunctory sex at 9:30 a.m. for 5 minutes followed by a handshake.
Yes.
Yeah. Were you enjoying the sex?
Loved it.
Oh.
I mean, it was great.
She opened up a whole just new world of influence on you.
I felt as if I had been reborn into a new universe.
Oh, wow. So like a parallel universe or...
you know what it felt like was the real universe where I was meant to be.
I see.
And then my life up to that point before June was, that was the fantasy. That was a lie that I had been told by some words.
So then why do you think... I mean, she married you, right?
Yes. She did.
And when did your experimentation start? Before the marriage or after the marriage?
After the marriage.
After the marriage.
And that was an experiment in itself. June forced us to wait and said,
how long had you been dating?
It will be all the sweeter. 12 years.
12 years?
Wow.
Wow.
So
you seem shocked by that number.
We were, I can't remember being that young. I mean, we were kids when we started dating.
I get it.
Right. And it's a whole universe ago.
We knew each other in high school.
Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine finding the love of your life in high school, Scott?
Yes, I can.
Yeah? Oh, boy.
I'm going out every weekend trying.
Oh, God. Oh, the widow cool-up is going to be so much better with me.
So why do you think she wanted... I mean, if you were enjoying it, was she not enjoying it? Why did she want this wife swap?
I think that June enjoyed herself up to a point, but there was always a moment where she'd get this faraway look in her eyes as if it was never enough.
Oh, no.
It was never enough. And I think that this experiment, I almost take it as something very flattering that she was going to prolong the anticipation or the experiment because she loved me so much.
Oh, was it only supposed to be for a length of time that was predetermined?
The time was never predetermined. So
So you're waiting. You're waiting for it to go back.
Yes, I am. I'm hoping that this is part of the experiment.
Now, did she ever say no backsies?
Did she ever say no backsies?
During the doggy style either?
No, during the doggy style, we were trying to act as much like dogs as possible.
Sure. So that's basically all backsies.
Were you trying to communicate? Barking?
Yes,
really? Licking?
We were
now,
howling.
would you always, did you live as dogs for a week?
We
Just
did.
like we
Yes,
lived
we
as
did.
Romans for a
We
week?
did. We lived as
Everything
dogs
was a
for a week.
week-long experimentation.
We didn't last a full week as dogs. That was challenging.
How
It was
could you?
challenging.
It would be very difficult to be a dog janitor.
Well, at one point, we got locked out of the house, and we had to pretend that we had no way of getting back in there.
Right.
We
thumbs.
knew where the spare key was. I mean, that's absurd. But of course, a dog wouldn't know.
Also, dogs don't have thumbs.
Dogs do not have thumbs.
Yeah,
so
unable to pick up the key.
Even if we were able to role play as dogs who discovered a key, what would we do?
Use your mouth, I guess. Try using your mouth.
Just sniff
We
it.
did try. We tried to turn the knob with our mouths.
Yeah.
I had to have 2 crowns replaced.
In your teeth or on top of your head?
Why would I be wearing 2 crowns on the top of my head? Hey-o.
All right.
You see what's wrong.
I laughed at it. You're right. So, do you think, are you ever going to get back to her, or is this it? You would have to go back to being a janitor. How would you feel about that?
It's up to June.
Do you enjoy teaching math?
I enjoy teaching math.
Do you long to pick up trash in any way, shape, or form, or are you happy to be out of that game?
I'll answer all of your questions in order. I do enjoy teaching math because it is very easy. Not much is expected of me. The students assume that I know more than they do. And as I say, I am tenured, so they cannot fire me. I can be...
How were you able to get just by taking over Mike's job?
Yeah, Mike was already tenured, right?
Is what I'm assuming?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Now, did people notice the change at all? Like...
did they say, those guys did a wife swap, life swap?
Yeah, or was it just like it just was, and nobody noticed? Really?
I think because
what are you trying to say.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, like, upon the life swap, that would seem so momentous.
That was by the way, that was the oath that we took. Upon the life swap.
Yep.
We shall forevermore be thus.
Okay, so this seems like a ceremony. Now I'm leaning even more towards June being part of, like,
the Illuminati or something.
Witchcraft, or the Masons, or Santeria, or voodoo, or something. There seems to be some sort of spell.
Well, June was always partial to in her jewelry that she would purchase. There'd always be some sort of star, and a lot of times she would hang it upside down.
Upside down star, Satan.
See, this is now actually giving me a lot of information.
What do you think? What are you thinking?
I think June is some sort of Satan worshipping devil.
Do you really?
Do
you really? Because very rarely did Satan take any sort of role in our experimental sex.
Yeah, can I ask you a question? Did you ever
play?
sacrifice animals?
In the course of a sex act?
Yes.
Yes. I mean,
well, let me ask you this: if that did happen, afterwards, would June take the blood of the dead animal and paint like rune symbols on your body?
Symbols on my body. Yes.
And would you then like not be aware of where or who you were for weeks at a time?
I mean, yes.
Okay. See,
this. Jason, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, sure. You want to go over here?
What shall I do?
You just hang out right there, guy.
I have one of those out-of-body experiments.
What?
I'll just put my hands over my ears.
Okay.
I can't make myself
have one of those out-of-body experiments?
I was going to say experiences, but then I said experiments.
Okay.
They're so similar. The words just say, hey.
I think this June...
Hey, no, man.
I think this June was using him as some sort of... some sort of homunculus or something.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
15.
Homunculus.
100.
Or a golem or something.
86.
Something that she could take control of and use his body
40.
to bring about the Dark
42.
Lord's return or something like that. Maybe.
Is he merely a puppet, or is
Is
he...
there a question now?
Yes.
Is that what's happening to Mike the janitor?
Oh my God! I never thought about that.
40,
Is Mike?
005.
We've never talked about his sex life anytime he's been on the show.
10.
Gosh, interesting.
91.
Okay, we should get back into
Is he counting down from something?
No, I think he's just
saying some of his favorite numbers.
I don't know if they're his favorites. These are just numbers.
11,012.
Oh, hey, Atherton.
Oh, are you back?
Hey,
we're back. We were just having a quick chat.
I was just busying myself by reciting some numbers that I remembered.
Oh, they're ones you remembered, not your favorite.
I remember a lot of numbers. No, I do not play favorites with numbers.
Okay.
Numbers are. You know, I got to say, since becoming a math professor, I've learned that numbers are really, they're pretty cool.
Let me ask about the ritualistic sacrificing.
Did you ever commit like an act that is like so heinous that you are either shamed by it or did you ever murder a person? For like sexual purposes.
Ooh. Sure. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
Murder a person for sexual purposes.
I'm going to broaden it a little bit and say,
go right ahead.
Did you ever murder anyone, period?
Yeah. Did you ever murder anyone's period?
Is that one of the weird things June wanted you to do?
Did I ever murder someone's period?
I should have murdered my period.
I'm not familiar with that phrase, but if I take your meaning, yes, I have done that.
Okay, great. Well, let's get back to Scott's question. Did you ever murder a person?
A human being. A live human being who is no longer a live human being.
Do you consider mercy killing to be a murder?
Okay, now what do you consider mercy killing?
Someone who is not doing well and
someone who is in a lot of pain.
Someone who's in a lot of pain probably wants to die.
Oh, okay.
Now, can I ask a different question
related? Someone for whom death would be a blessing.
Okay,
sure.
Tangentially related question. Were you responsible
Tangents are part of math.
Okay. Were you responsible for the pain that this person was feeling?
No. I've never hurt anyone in my life.
Was June?
June may have been.
Okay.
So when the person begged for death, they were begging to be released from June's torturous actions, I'm assuming?
If someone says, under any circumstances, please just kill me, I think the respectful thing to do
is to do it?
Is to end their life.
And how did you end this person's life?
Well, there are various ways to take a life.
Of course.
And there are humane ways. And I always, anytime that this would happen, and I'm not saying it happened a lot, but I'm saying that I I know the experience of taking a life, and I always try to be very humane when I did it. And there are certain veins that bleed out faster than other veins. So if you start there, then it's a much more peaceful and rapid death.
Oh, boy. That's a lot.
Especially if the person is hanging upside down.
Over
an altar.
A lot of blood.
Oh, boy. Well, this is interesting. So if you had your druthers, and in life we so seldom have our druthers.
Or anyone's druthers. For that matter, if you find yourself in possession of druthers,
do you know? I almost feel as if I am having someone else's druthers and not my own.
Yeah,
right?
You and Mike are like the Druthers brothers. Hey yo,
redeemed.
Hey Nong Man.
Hey yo, Nong Man.
Hey Nong Man.
I mean, but if you had your druthers, would you be back with June by any means necessary?
Oh, that's interesting.
Well,
do you think she's waiting for you to fight for her?
Yeah. Have you taken any steps to win her back?
I mean, that would be well, of course, before we did the wife swap, I did say, June, let's really talk about this. I know you love to experiment and you like to keep things fresh for us. And so far, mission accomplished. I always feel as if every day is a brand new adventure.
Yeah.
But this one time, I mean, we're going to be apart for an indeterminate amount of time, and it certainly seems like it would be permanent. Is this really something that you want to do?
What did she say?
Well, she looked into my eyes. She took my chin in her hands, and she said, "Slave, this is my desire."
Oh, wow.
Were you accustomed to her speaking to you in this manner?
That's a little pet name she had for me.
Okay.
Yes.
I really want to talk to Mike the janitor.
My pet name for her was Mistress, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
But I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think that June, in an effort, do you think that June chose Mike because he was a math professor at Harvard, somebody who is really in control of numbers?
Somebody who knows a lot about black holes.
Well, I was going to say she might be trying to get control over the numbers 6, 6, and 6.
Oh, interesting. Do you come across
that is
those
the mark of the devil
a lot?
Well, the number 6 is a pretty common number.
Sure, 2 times 3?
Yeah, 3 plus 3.
6 times 1
times 6.
7 minus 1.
Sure. -1 plus 7.
Yeah, it comes
12
up.
divided by 2.
Comes up a lot. Comes up a lot. So, yeah, I've seen 6 in just about any combination you could think of with other numbers.
Sure.
6, 7, 9.
There we go.
6.
1, 0, 6, 2, 1.
I've seen that.
0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 6.
That's a new one for me. I haven't seen that yet.
You haven't seen
But
it?
now that you've said it, I can picture it, so I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah. No, I mean, you say it now, and now that I'm thinking about it, and I'm not even a math professor, I feel like I've seen all the 6 numbers.
Yeah, so it needn't be so sinister, guys. So
Have you ever done one of those Goodwill Hunting equations on the board, and then it just said equals 666?
Ooh, yeah.
You mean like a great big long equation that covers the whole blackboard?
Yeah.
That is unsolvable.
Very end, unsolvable.
It's like an unsolvable proof.
But then he very suddenly did equals 666, and then his eyes got wide.
I did see one that was 665 one time when I was cleaning up the classroom.
That's
as close as I'd
close,
seen.
but no cigar.
Did he ever snap his fingers and then erase the last 5 and put a 6 there?
Why did he snap his fingers? In a moment of realization?
Also, why would I be observing him at work? I'm the janitor.
Well, you're cleaning up around him.
Well, he's gone home by the time I'm cleaning up.
Really?
Yes.
Sometimes not once. Was there ever a teacher in the room where you were cleaning up? One time. Really? One time?
One time that I can remember, yes. It was very unusual.
Let's be clear. If I'm a teacher...
And it was Mike.
If I'm a teacher and I'm in my classroom...
What did you observe?
I observed him writing this equation on the board. It's a great big long equation.
Yep.
And he finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was 6 something.
Okay.
6 something. Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Did you?
I didn't memorize every number he wrote down.
No.
Can I ask? Did you go home and tell this to June?
Of course I did. I was required to report everything that happened throughout my day to my mistress June.
You say the most curious thing happened. I've never had a teacher inside a room when I was cleaning it before, and today I happened to.
Yes.
Mike was burning the midnight oil.
Words. Those are my exact words.
How soon did the life swap occur after that?
Oh, next day.
She was like, I want to talk to Mike the professor immediately.
Do you spend your nights kind of, I don't know how else to describe it, but sadly trying to recreate that formula that you once espied?
I'm not saying I've never done that. A lot of nights are spent eating an entire pint of ice cream. That's my big weakness.
What's your favorite flavor?
Vanilla.
That's a good one. Vanilla bean.
Yep. I like
Breyers.
I like
Breyers, vanilla bean, all natural vanilla.
I love the little specks.
Yeah. I love those specs.
Well, gosh, I have to say, Atherton, this is I view it as a sad story, but
An emotional episode.
Well, here's the thing. We've established numbers cannot lie.
Sure.
I think that memories are unreliable, and perhaps I'm not remembering everything correctly.
And also, this is an entertainment podcast. He could just be, saying something that's not true for entertainment
You could be a
purposes.
character made up by somebody else entirely.
That's right. That's right. And maybe perhaps some things that I've said are a little too close to some things that some other people have said. And it's kind of gnawing at the back of my mind. And I feel like I was led down a path that I didn't necessarily want to go down. But here we are. But that's life, isn't it?
It is life, being led down a path.
Sometimes you go down a path you didn't plan on going down.
Sure.
But there you are.
But you have friends and peer pressure. And,
that's right.
That's right. I get it. I get it.
You may say things just to look cool.
Yeah. Well, good luck with your life, and I hope we see you again.
Well, no, you'll be back, I'm sure, because you're going to be our statistician for the 2016 election.
Well, yeah.
I'll just be saying the same thing. It's going to be Jim Webb versus... It's going to be... Numbers cannot lie. It will be Jim Webb versus Hillary Rodham Clinton, and our president will be Rand Paul.
All right.
Okay, the numbers, and there it is, everybody.